Oh, I am a huge fucking nerd. That's right, I'm a huge fucking nerd. I like lots of books and computers, 'cause I am a huge fucking nerd.
One-of-a-kind shades made to order by Vaporshades.com. Vaporshades designs the outer layer of the sunglasses just like a wrap on a car. They customize your sunglasses, marbling the paint. The end result is no two pair of sunglasses are alike. Yours will be completely unique to you. Check us out at Vaporshades.com. Use promo code Tuddle for 15% off your entire order. Get ready for your daily dose of Tuddle.
The all-time greatest intern/producer we've ever had, of course, Tuddle. Tuddle in Florida.
From the Vaporshades Hobo Fish Camp, it's the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
No wonder nobody likes you, Tuddle. Everything's a goddamn debate.
Welcome to another edition of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. And if I'm just being honest, guys, my last start of this show, I know it's going to confuse the fuck out of you, but we already recorded a big segment today, and it happens in radio. It really, really does. And I feel bad because I've been on that end where it's like, oh my God, that didn't record.
It's frustrating.
It did record. That's the thing. It fucking recorded. And when
I don't have it, so it didn't record.
Stop record. The little fucking spinning wheel, the loading wheel came up, and the file was nowhere to be found. 30 minutes of our lives we'll never get back.
Well, I mean, okay, guys. Well, first off, anyway, I'm so like I don't know if I'm coming or going right now, but because I had this great introduction for John and Chris from Funny to Informing.
Our first time on your show.
Yeah, I know.
Second time. If you record that 30 minutes.
Yes, I know, exactly. Yeah, I mean, but nobody ever heard it.
If it didn't record, it never happened.
So you guys don't know. Yeah, this is our first time on the show, guys.
I mean, like, it's the case of if a tree falls in the woods and nobody hears it.
If a podcast doesn't record, does anybody hear it?
Yeah, exactly. Nope, it made no sound.
Right.
God knows.
But also,
all things through God can happen.
Now think about this, guys. Me and John. See, this all just, if I'm being honest right now, this is still going to be great, but it's not as good as the first time around.
Well, never as good. The second take's never as good because you want to touch on all the shit we touched on, but
because I want to go in a different direction now. I got other things to talk about.
All right.
But this is one of them. Like, me and John, we talked about, like, if you record it, and that's why I'm so pissed. I wish I would have been recording our whole conversation.
Is now it's like doing this mad.
Right? No, I'm not doing it mad, but
frustrated.
We were talking about some really like stoner conversations on our right over. Like,
everything's been going so good up until this point right now.
All right, so here's another stoner conversation we could have easily talked about. Like, what if that segment that we just did would have gotten heard by like this big podcast producer or program director, and it's like, oh, I need to have that trio on my radio show.
And that would have been the difference.
And that would have been the difference. But now we never know, because now we're living a complete alternate timeline right now.
It's as
because John fucked up the recording.
Yeah.
It's as if not the sperm that made us inseminated the egg, and we're other people.
Oh yes, I mean that, guys. And guess what? I am horrible at segues. That's like one of my downfalls when it comes to radio. Like, I can never like make a connection to make it seem like it's seamless. And I had a great one there because Chris had brought some stuff up, and I was talking about, the chances of being born, and I went to break. Like, I had this great professional radio segue tease before the break, because I had my first commercial break there, and when I come back, I was going to talk about the chances of being born.
Okay,
now it's like let's screw it. It's like, John, I get you. You want me to be honest? I think John was like, that wasn't a great 30 minutes there. I don't want to be associated with it, so I'm just going to tell this. I'm just going to tell this idiot that it didn't record.
No, that was a fun 30 minutes.
No, it's angry. It's like, because now it's like that butterfly effect. Like, what would have been from those first 30
Had
minutes.
that butterfly not flapped its wings on our fucking mobile recorder.
I'll shoot that fucking butterfly.
Guys, we'll never get so big that we sell out and become Nickelback.
Hey,
now,
guess
guys.
what though, Chris? He made sure to light every cigarette in that 30 minutes we did, but he didn't make sure.
We were counting. Do we start? Do we restart?
No, I mean it doesn't
Is it cigarette
count now.
one from
He's
this
back
point?
at 0 now.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
That was 4 cigarettes ago.
No, but what I'm saying,
it's restarted at 0.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to get my numbers up.
It's a recount, just like Georgia.
You know, if you weren't worried about lighting your cigarettes and stuff, maybe the recording would have worked.
I deserve this. I deserve this.
I think the smoke got into the electronics.
I will
you want me
take
to
it.
be honest though? Like I hate doing this, but I'm kind of trying to show you what it is like working in radio when a host like has his eye on you. You never want the attention of the host.
Oh, it's a fly under the radar scenario.
Yeah, it's just kind of like you do not want to have his attention.
Well,
So
and they're
it's like-
never direct with you, right? It's always that passive aggressive, like, well, you
especially if it's on mic during the show.
But I got to tell you, when I see, and I talked about this. This is another conversation me and John had. The difference between Tampa and Orlando,
Class.
and
just kidding.
No.
Neither one of them has it.
But I mean, no, they don't. Well, but see, Orlando act like they have class, and you know that's why they've done away with a lot of the strip clubs and stuff. When you go to Tampa, that shit is fully nude, fully liquored out.
Yeah.
Like,
yep. No, not in Tampa. No, you cannot drink. It's fully nude, but you can't drink. At Mons Venus, I know for sure.
When was the last time you've been there? Because
I had a friend go there about a year ago, and he said they were drinking in the parking lot.
What's the point of that, though? Is that like fear of throwing up on?
No,
it's just a dumb law that politicians make. It's like
it's a political Christian law. It's a church and state combining is exactly what the fuck that
so
is,
I
dude.
can't look at fully nude women.
You can only
while
do so
I'm
many
drinking.
vices, right?
Like when I first started in radio at the Crow, the Pink Pony right there in Daytona used to advertise with the radio station, and then they had to split it up. They had one side that was just topless. And then, if you want to see fully nude, you had to go to the other side of the bar that was separated by a partition or
so
whatever.
Stupid. Okay.
And it's like, what difference does it really make?
None.
I agree. Like
you're going in there for a purpose, and then like you're going to
and it's
try
an
to
adult
fulfill.
area, right? Like everything's for adults. They make sure you're an adult before you come in. Like yeah, exactly. I don't get it at all.
I understand
really
like
don't get it.
dividing like smoking and non-smoking, or like certain things that people have their preferences on, but you're all going with the same preference of seeing women or men.
Mons Venus divides it into squirting and non-squirting.
Yeah, but then you have these subcategories within the place, like, and then that's too much, too far.
But no, there is a big difference between Tampa and Orlando. It's just I think Tampa is a little bit of a dirtier city.
Really?
Well, we mentioned
okay.
because the class levels might be a little bit different, but like I feel like people get confused with class and culture.
Yeah,
like
no, I
the
was kidding
cultures
with the
are
class in
rich.
it anyway.
Well, no, but the cultures are very rich in both areas. But like the class is a different conversation entirely.
I guess it depends on where you go and how much you know it. Tuddle knows a lot more about Tampa.
Okay,
than I do. I know Ybor City.
So I mean,
That's a
Ybor,
party.
yeah, it really
Fucking
is.
chickens walking
I mean,
around.
okay, so Ybor is kind of, if you want me to make a comparison, is like Orlando's Church Street. Church Street
party
used to,
district.
but Church Street was a lot more popular than what it is right now.
It was
like at one
the
point that
epicenter of
was
downtown.
That was the place. Like they went to Church Street before they went to Disney or Universal. Like everybody went to fucking Church Street.
I missed those. Hey, I never caught those.
Ybor sounds like a fucking like a big burly like dumb henchman name. Like I'm Ybor. Hey boss. Ybor.
Hey boss, I dropped chickens in the parking lot, boss.
And Tampa though, it's like I know we have some bad roads in Orlando, but like Tampa, that I-4 to get on the 275 intersection to go to Tampa, St. Pete. Oh, it's the
worse
worst.
than I-4 through Orlando. Because that is a fucking mess of a nightmare of an always interchanging. You never know what an exit, if it exists or doesn't, from day to day.
Okay, so I was talking about this with John while we were driving. It's like I'm starting to relearn Orlando.
Okay.
And I've been there a lot lately. And I'm starting to learn the roads, but nothing is the same though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, don't bother learning it because it'll be different again in a fucking month.
Oh, they're going to always constantly be working on that goddamn road.
Right.
Yeah, they fix a certain slab of it and then they move down a little bit. But by the time they move down and fix that slab, they have to go back to the one that they already fixed because it took so long.
A 50-mile stretch that they're working on. By the time they get to mile 50, they got to restart over on mile 1 because it's been 5 years and it's torn up again.
But that I-4, a lot of people don't realize this. I-4 is one of the shortest interstates in the whole country, but it is the deadliest.
Yeah, it is the deadliest stretch of road in Florida or America. Or
yes.
Across the nation.
Yeah. No,
weird. It's so weird.
But it's one of the shortest.
Yeah, it just intersects the state, right?
Yeah.
From Daytona to Tampa.
Yeah. So why do you think that is though? Is it because of all the tourists? Do you think it's
overdose numbers?
I mean, I could see that
through the corridor.
I think it's a lot of driving under the influence, and then people who come from like out of countries and don't even really know how to drive in America, and they'll rent a car because all you need is a credit card. A credit card and a license or a passport, and you can rent a car. So you have these, like the Brazilians or
people from Europe that drive on the other side of the road.
Yeah.
Right?
And so they come over and they just don't know how to drive, and like there's oodles of room here in Florida. The lanes are super wide, and still they manage to fuck it up. And if you're not paying attention, like you can be as good of a driver as you want, but everybody else around you don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly. So you guys bring up driving. And the last time you guys were here, I was like, I want to show you some manly things. I tried to, show you how to throw the cast net and stuff.
Yep. One of us was successful.
So can I ask you, do the both of you know how to drive stick shifts?
I know how to drive it, but I haven't practiced enough to do it well.
Then you don't know how to then. Like, I mean, driving a stick shift and like heavy big city
traffic sucks.
It sucks because you have to put the clutch down or whatever unless you take it out of gear. Some people don't like to take it out of gear depending on what your preference is.
Yes.
I didn't like it take it out of gear because I'd like to be ready to be able to go.
Yeah, but anyway, no, I totally drive a 5-speed. I learned to drive on a 5-speed.
Okay, so I did too.
My last car was a 6-speed. And I remember driving it off the lot and being like, "Oh man, this clutch is easy. Why? I forgot. It had been a long time." And I was like, "It's I forgot how this is." And it was a new car, so I was like, "Oh, these new transmissions are so easy to drive. Why do people complain about? It's no harder than a fucking automatic." And then I got in stop and go traffic on it.
Yeah,
I was like, "Fuck every fucking."
Good luck getting
clutch,
on a hill
clutch,
too.
Clutch.
Or
just
a hill.
My left thigh was on fire after my first week of driving that car.
Do you think like speed limits have? Because I know like the Autobahn?
In Germany, yeah,
no speed limit, and supposedly there's like a very low rate of accidents.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because Tuddle's mentioned this. I've been listening to his Tuddle Daily podcast, which you can find all over the place, right, Tuddle?
Yes.
But I've been listening to his show, and he's brought it up on his show, and he brought it up on his segment he does on our show on his last segment, and it was about like Americans and their liberties.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like
freedom.
that has a lot to do with that, John. In other countries, people they understand the greater good, So over there, the rules are kind of like they are here. Trucks in the right lane, fast-moving traffic in the left lane. That's how it's supposed to be on a highway here, John. If you're not passing somebody, you're not supposed to be in that far left lane.
No.
You're supposed to be in the middle lane or the right lane, and trucks are all supposed to be in that right lane or the middle lane as well.
Yeah.
And if you are going to speed up and overtake somebody and pass them, you're supposed to pass them on the left, then move back over.
All right.
Same with merging on and off of highways. It's supposed to be like a zipper. One car in, one car in, one car in.
But everybody's
it doesn't work like
though.
That, right? Because we're Americans, we have too much liberty.
We're selfish. Like,
yes.
I've explained this. Like during World War II, one of the legitimate wars we had to fight, everybody like did their part. They went to work, they built like armored cars or
even
tanks.
Rosie the Riveter.
Yeah, exactly.
She could get it.
Do you now look at us as Americans now when we just are asking people to wear a mask, and that is just too much for them to handle.
That's an epidemic of no masks across the country, especially with the epicenter here in Volusia County.
Yeah,
which I mentioned on our last 30 minutes that'll never be heard.
And guess what? I bet those Trumpers wish that they were wearing a mask when they broke into the Capitol building.
Thank you for saying that. That was my moment of irony that day, Wednesday, when I was sitting at work watching all this go down, and I just kept looking at people going, the irony of the fact that Now is the time in the world when it is regular to wear a mask. When everyone walks down the street and nobody goes, oh, what a weirdo, I'm going to get robbed, he's wearing a mask. It's normal to do so. They have that opportunity. They go to break a fucking federal law, and none of them are wearing goddamn masks.
They said, here's my face. Take a
here's
picture.
my face, and I had every opportunity to cover my face so that I couldn't later be prosecuted, but here it is.
So
Dumb.
We're going to take a quick break because I want to make sure we didn't want to do a really long segment because I want to make sure that John is, maybe John's trying to punk me or whatever.
I'm working on. I got this.
He's trying to punk me right now. He's like, let's go over here with Tuddle. Like, do you guys put like a GoPro in the tree or something? And you're like, how many times can we get Tuddle to do the same segment over and over again?
That's a great idea. We're going to do that.
Ashton Kutcher, come on out. You're on punked.
No, it would be like either fourth or fifth time. I'm like, John, seriously, I'm going to chop you up and put you in a crab trap out in the seawall. Yeah. That's just how I'm going to fucking do it.
I feel horrible. Tuddle's
Crabs love smoked meat.
He's been so hospitable. He made us food. And
I've been a hospital?
No, been hospitable.
There it is. I was about to say.
I missed the syllable in there.
All right, I see. Listen, man, I'm kind of messing with you. I'm sorry.
No,
it's fine.
I truly deserve it. I'm kicking myself.
Why?
It was no one's fault.
Before we go,
failure.
Why did you get rid of the stash? Weren't you rocking a mustache?
Stash, goat, he switches it up.
Yeah,
I tell him all the time, keep it. I don't know why he shaves it. He's always like, yep, shave face. I'm like, oh, you.
It's like 50-50 because some people are like, you look so good, you can see your face without it, and this and that, and like, but people want me to cut my hair.
I'm like, cover that face up.
Okay, so
what am I, a Barbie?
Can I give you some beard?
Okay, so there are two things I want to talk about: the odds of being born a human, but I also want to talk about. Now, so when I picked up John today, okay, I'm not going to say exactly
he was
where,
on the corner saying, "Do you want a date?"
No. But what I'm saying is Orlando, because we were talking about Orlando, Tampa. Orlando has areas that look nice, but they're actually not nice places to be. Like I'll give you an example. When I first met my wife and I was living with her or moved in. Was in Metro West. Everybody thinks Metro West is like a great place, but there's some pretty shady stuff.
I feel like
on.
Ostensibly it looks nice and it sells itself as a nice area because there's fountains and pretty signage and shit.
Right next to Universal.
Yeah. But no, it's
no, it's not that bad because I mean it's close to that Cimarron, Pine Hills area, and because, like I'm saying, I'm not saying John lives in a bad place, but like I mean, I'm sure.
Oh, John knows where he lives. He posted a picture of some crazy. He had like a ton of fires going on in his neighborhood over there recently because of meth houses, and he posted the picture of and said like what neighborhood it was, and a bunch of people were commenting like, "Oh, blah 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 street. Yep, that I know that area. Shit goes down over there."
That's my dealer. I hope he's okay. I'm like, oh.
Fuck, he got the cleanest shit out. I hope it ain't burnt down.
And once again, another thing that me and John were talking about. Do you know that now this is not like a national story, but do you know what today is the anniversary of? And it was a local news story.
I know.
But we already talked about this. But it was for a while there, for a couple of weeks. That was all that the local news was talking about. 2, 6, 9, 35. They were all talking about.
It's not coming to me, but when you tell me, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, that of course.
Yeah, I was making a joke.
It's a local thing.
I would tell my girlfriend.
Oh, big! One of the biggest local stories. I mean, I would say, like in the past. The last decade, it's maybe the third or second biggest story. The biggest like local story would be Orlando Poles.
Poles, Casey Anthony, those are big ones.
Oh, see, you fucked me up on that one. Now Casey Wood, fuck.
That was 9 years ago now. I just realized that. I thought it was further back, but it was 2011.
All right, so anyway. Markeith Lloyd killing.
I live right over there.
Yeah, so
I live by that Princeton Walmart.
But do you remember how big of a story that was?
Oh, because his reward went from like 10,000 to 25 to 100,000, and then I think he became one of the most wanted people in America.
I think so.
At that time.
Yeah,
he was on the run for a while, and I was joking with my girlfriend like, "Oh, I'm gonna go out," because I used to live by Metro West also.
Yeah.
So I would joke, "Oh, I'm gonna go out and look for Markeith Lloyd and make us some quick cash." And this motherfucker was hiding right off of Kirkman in a neighborhood,
where they found him? Yeah,
like around the corner from the officer's mom that he shot.
Jesus,
horrible.
So when we come back, I also want to talk about this. I want to get your Mount Rushmore Mount Rushmore being four things. Okay. What would be the Mount Rushmore of, and I'm not just talking Florida stories. I'm talking, I'm talking, or you know what? It could be.
I was about to just start naming names.
No, but how about this? Central Florida. So we'll go from Tampa to Daytona and anything in that range. What would be your top 4 news stories? Because I like that. I think there are some. But I think we also lose track of time of when things actually happen.
Yeah, you're right. Like I said, that Casey Anthony shit, if somebody hadn't mentioned recently that it had been 9 years.
It was like 2011, 2010.
Somebody had mentioned it had been 9 years, and I was like, fuck, was it? I thought it was 5 years ago. And then I was like, no, I thought it was like 15 years ago. Like, yes, I lose all concept of how long ago that was.
So you got the Pulse, you got Markeith Lloyd,
Ted Bundy.
Well, I mean, that was Tallahassee.
Right? Oh yeah, I forgot that was Florida.
Yeah,
I thought you were getting to national.
I mean, he did a lot of killing, but like, why is it all these serial killers come to Florida, and that's where they end up getting caught? I mean, it's
the face eating thing was a big story. That was like,
the guy that was on the drugs.
Yeah. That was Miami.
Down in Miami, and he ate the dude's face off. Yeah, that was
a wild
that was pretty bad. All right, I don't want to waste this content. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and make sure that this thing actually recorded. You are listening to the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
He's a nerd.
I've only been arrested one time.
A radio personality.
Professionally, I'm not in the best position that I've ever been in.
And hot talk satirizer.
You would think with everything that's going on, a Caucasian like myself wouldn't be able to randomly talk to an African American or a minority.
You're listening to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Have you considered owning your own restaurant franchise? Good Life Organics currently offers territories across the United States. Check out GLO Franchising. That's GLO Franchising on Facebook to sign up for an overview session today. Good Life Organics Franchising, a new partner of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Tell them Tuddle sent you. Send them a message on Facebook at facebook.com/GLO Franchising. Tuddle's Daily Podcast is brought to you by StitchYouUp.com. For your embroidery, screen printing, vinyl, and direct-to-garment printing needs, visit StitchYouUp.com. Stitch You Up specializes in custom caps, shirts, decals, and anything you want to personalize. Whether it's one item or large orders, they can handle any size. Unsure about what you want? Let Stitch You Up help you with your logo design. Visit StitchYouUp.com or contact them, Eric at StitchYouUp.com. Stitch You Up. Definitely not your grandma's embroidery.
All right, welcome back to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. I got my buddies from Funny to Informing here, John and Chris.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, so you've been doing it for like 4 years. See, now, so you're not going to be able to throw me off. And I see what you did there. You went and put your hat on.
I did.
And I'm like, yeah, you know what, Tuddle? You do not even. Well, I mean, I got hats and stuff, but I mean,
that was a brag. That was a humble brag.
I mean,
I see what you did with your hat.
Yeah, I see what
fancy
you did with
guy.
Your hat. You're like, oh yeah, I'm
starting to get comfortable now.
You didn't even get nominated. Don't get comfortable because maybe the it's not recording.
Right.
Don't get too comfortable.
We're good.
See now, you did. You got all. You were like, oh my God,
right?
Fuck.
Saw me jump out of my chair.
So before I went to break their last segment, I asked the guys to think of their top 4 news stories. But I mean,
I totally forgot on break.
Yeah, I know, because you guys have been fucking like puffing your heads off out here.
It was a foggy break.
But you were kind of a like lightweight, John. Like you were like coughing and coughing and coughing. Now, do you like just do that do you go overboard? Because like me, when I would like feel really good when I did drugs and alcohol back in the day, I was like, all right, if this amount is making me feel this good, what will double the amount make me feel like if I do that?
If I drink a 40 and feel this good, imagine if I drink a 80.
Yeah. Is that how your brain works? Or?
It's very salt and pepper push it. I will go
Jesus
and go.
Christ, at 20 and you're making that type of reference?
That's why we get along. John's an old soul. on most things.
Yeah, but so I do go the extra mile. It's not that I'm a lightweight, because I think I have a high tolerance of it, but it's that, I will seem like a little bitch.
Full disclosure, this motherfucker right here makes you cough. I offered it to Tuddle, but he was like, no.
No, I don't need that Corona. I don't share.
No, you should be so lucky that my fancy, classy ass comes from the classiest of Orlando, as we discovered, and offers you a Volution to hit my shit, knowing that this is Corona Central when no one here wears a mask.
It's okay.
Which we've already discussed.
I hit it with a mask on.
But I mean, okay,
through my mask.
you keep bringing that up though, that not wearing a mask. But hear me out.
I was astounded at how few masks I saw today.
But I mean, we are less like on top of each other here. Like here in Oak Hill, if I don't leave Oak Hill, like there's not a lot of people.
Tuddle, I mean, at the gas station. I mean, inside 7-Eleven and inside Dunkin' Donuts, the two places I stopped. One in North Volusia at Ormond, and one right up the fucking road here, and nobody aside from the staff was wearing masks, and if they had, and even the staff that had them on, a lot of them were doing the old under chin.
Oh yeah,
don't worry.
I mean, if it's not over your nose, it's kind of pointless to even fucking wear the thing.
Right.
So
I was just astounded. Again, I'm not one of those like. I'm not an anti-masker. I'm not like a, I wasn't walking around. I wasn't yelling at people, but I was kind of judging them in my head. Don't get me wrong. It was just literally, I walked in, I counted heads in the 7-Eleven, including myself. There were 7 people in the store. I'm the one person wearing a fucking mask all the way on my face.
It seems like it takes more energy to find loopholes in certain rules or regulations, as opposed to just fucking following them and doing it.
And the reason it's so astounding, Tuddle, is it's the juxtaposition coming from Orlando. In Orlando, if I'm standing in a store with 7 people, one person might not have a mask on, and those other 6 people are looking at that motherfucker like, "Bitch, put a mask on."
All right, but be honest though. Are the people wearing the mask? It doesn't really matter.
Not to say one's better than the other. No.
But what I'm saying, are the people in Orlando? Because I was in Orlando a while. This is just another case of people doing things because they don't want to get called out. Do you think they really want to wear a mask, or are they just trying to be in the in crowd by wearing masks?
Again, I don't care what your motivation is.
I don't either.
You know what? If I had to guess, I would probably say the majority of them are probably, don't want to get called out. Like the in crowd, like doing it, bandwagoners, so to speak. You know what? I'm kind of one of them. I'm not saying a mask is going to save a life. It's not, but
it's better than nothing.
If there's that 1% chance, I'm going to err on the side of caution on that 1% chance.
I mean, we were like, I don't even know if we talked about this on the show that we did that didn't get recorded
it's all
by John.
It's very confusing.
No, it's very confusing. Like, I don't know if I can reference, we were talking about Netflix, people on the shows, but I can't remember.
We did talk about Netflix.
Yeah, but I don't know if that was from the first recording.
I'm good at this. That was from the Lost Tapes.
Okay, it was from the Lost Tapes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know what we mean by Lost Tapes, we did a prime edition, like 33 or 34 or 35 minutes worth of content, and I get like, oh yeah, it's a spinning wheel. And as soon as I heard the spinning wheel, I was like, that
spinning wheel's death.
Yeah, no, I just was like, that's gone. That's just wasted about 37 minutes of my time, and it
was really good.
Oh, and
it was the best content we ever recorded, guys.
Okay, and
of all time,
all of us.
So hear this now, Chris. This is how I get repaid. Okay, I've never had a guest that's like calling me the night before that I've ever offered. Hey, my car is busted. Okay, I can't make it.
Right.
What radio host or podcaster is like, oh, I'll come pick you up?
I know. When John told me that, I was like, wow, it's amazing. Because I guess we'll let everybody know the full story. So John and I have been planning on coming out from Orlando to do this for weeks. We've had this on the calendar. It's been in our minds for months, and we've told Tuddle so many times, and he said to us, oh, we're going to hang out. Yeah, we are. We're going to hang out. We're going to hang out. We've been wanting to get it done.
Schedule.
It's been really hard between my job, John's job, and just fucking lives and recording schedules and shit. So we finally made it happen, and literally the day before it happens, John's alternator goes out on his car. Normally, it would have been fine. It would have been. I just feel like it was a confluence of shit in this weekend because my kid got COVID right before Christmas, so we couldn't do a family Christmas. This was my weekend to come up to Volusia and be with my family and do a family Christmas. Today, actually, when we wrap this up, I'm going home to see my family. We're going to exchange gifts and do all what we couldn't do for Christmas. So I was already out here in Volusia. I stayed at my mom's house last night. And so I'm at my mom's and John calls and he's like, yo, my car's shot. And I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, I mean, I'm thinking, I guess I can come get you, but my car is sketchy. It's like I'm rolling the dice just to get it out.
I mean,
to
you guys
Daytona
act
for
like
one.
I got an amazing
No,
car
I know.
too.
We both drive shit sketchmobiles.
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
It's like
We all three drive shit sketchmobiles.
That's
Let's
what I'm
just
saying.
call
And,
a
like,
spade a spade.
to help to fix my car in my situation. It's like fucking up another car,
Right,
Just to
exactly.
make that happen.
So I was like, I guess I was like, fuck it. Let's see, let me get out of work. I was working. Let me just get out of work, and then we'll reconvene and figure this out. So then John calls me an hour later, and he's like, yeah, I talked to Tuddle. We got to figure it out. I'm like, how you got to figure it out? And he's like, Tuddle's going to come get me and take me home. And I'm like, what?
Hey, get this.
Just
though.
like, it's a huge thing. John wasn't kidding when he said you were very hospitable and hospitable.
Yeah, hospitable. But I don't know if that was from the first show.
I don't know either. That one I don't know.
That one got
listen,
on.
Okay.
John, you have really this is they're having that Doctor Strange multiverse movie coming out. This is like the multiverse right now.
It's the darkest
in the
timeline.
now guys, also in the first segment we talked about alternate timelines, about this and that happening, and well, now I'm totally backwards because we did talk about that in that episode. See, I don't even know what the hell timeline that I'm on right now.
Yeah, because now we're on that other one.
We're on the darkest timeline, I'll tell you that.
Okay, so, but I mean, so John, not only did I come pick you up, you made me wait because for some reason you have the shits today. Like, I mean, I've already had to take you to the bathroom like 3 times here.
The alarm's going off in my poop chute.
I like that Tuddle has to take him to the bathroom too. Like,
Well,
hold my hand.
okay, but didn't he have that deer in headlight look?
As soon as you
I
were
was
like, just
trying
go
to?
down, you can't tell John, just go. No. You put it in John's GPS on his phone, and John's okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't. I mean, the bathroom here does not have an exact address.
Is
so
it
it's not,
in that building we were recording before? Okay, I thought I was like, it's right there.
It's
Okay.
down towards more in the middle, but
Okay.
I was like, I took him down, and I'm like, you were in there for a while, and I know that you were out partying.
No, I was in there
You were
for-
drinking.
I was in there a while. 70% of the time I was in there was wiping. It was just this
But if
endless
you had-
nonstop.
no, dude. If you no,
It's like a marker.
No, yes,
yeah.
the Chris Pratt
Chris
thing.
Pratt
it's like,
thing,
you
yeah.
keep wiping.
Yes, I'm glad you guys got that.
But no, though, like when you have like straight up watery, see, it doesn't count. So technically, in this timeline, that's only your second cigarette.
Yeah.
Okay,
If
so-
the other 4 don't count.
But like if you have diarrhea, that should be like a quick cleanup. It's where you have that clayey hard like that is where you have to keep wiping and wiping and wiping.
Well, with the hard stuff is when it splashes. And then you get that water.
Oh, yeah, but
Oh, that's the worst.
Splashback.
That's the worst.
But I mean,
Because I just picture the water as brown water, even though toilet water is almost always clear. You know what I mean?
Well, no, it's
But
yellow.
just in my head, I'm
No.
like, oh yeah. I just feel like it's dirty toilet water.
If you're-
splashing
if
on
you're-
me.
if
It's
you're
my own dirty toilet water, but it's still gross.
If you're shitting, it's yellow because you're pissing also. And nobody ever just shits. You shit and piss at the same time.
Well, see, you're younger, but let me ask you this, Chris.
How's your prostate?
No. See, I talked
Welcome
about
back to
that.
prostate talk.
No, I talked about that on the podcast, and this was the first time that the doctor was like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to start getting the prostate checked." And
Yeah, 40, right?
And yeah, but he was making a big deal about like, oh yeah, it's not the greatest thing in the world, and I'm thinking in my
Says
head,
you.
I'm like, should I tell this guy like what I have had in my my anus? So
Please, let's go down the list now.
It was like, but I was like, that's a point, Tuddle, where you're not like supposed to share too much,
Right.
Like,
Right, yeah, no, that's a situation where the doctor's like, oh, it's not too pleasant. And in your head, you're like, you have no
Yeah,
idea. I'm not even
no.
going to feel it. But you just don't say it. You go, okay, thanks for the advice.
Oh, so but
You got to do a prostpod.
yeah.
He's probing.
So
He's
what
probing.
what I'm asking though is like when you pee in the mornings, do you fart? Like I've noticed that like when you get older, like when you're standing over the bowl peeing, you do fart. Like it's like
I feel like that's just a thing. I didn't know if that was an older, younger
I think it
thing.
is.
John,
I
do
don't
you not
remember
fart when
doing
you're
that.
pissing?
I do not.
No? Okay. Well,
So-
wow, maybe it is an older
So
thing.
that's why I say I
So
think,
will I start to?
yes, I
maybe
think
you
you
will.
will because I don't remember me doing it in my 20s or 30s, but like the
Wow,
last couple of years.
I never put the time distinction on
That-
it. But it does
that-
happen. So,
but-
I don't remember doing it before.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a thing.
yeah, because you're peeing and you're. I guess you're relaxed when you're peeing a little bit.
A little bit.
But
enough
like
for the pee to come
Yeah,
out.
because I'm trying to think of like the reason that would be.
But do you ever poop? Okay, so but the reasoning is like, okay, when you poop, everybody pees a little bit, right? Like, I mean,
Well, unless
have
you
you
don't
ever
have-
have you ever taken a dump when you and not pee?
I've never taken
at
a
all?
dump and not peed. Unless I had diarrhea and I was like in the bathroom every 5 minutes and like I just peed 5 minutes ago when I diarrheaed and now I'm following up and there's no more pee in me. But yes, generally yes,
But
because
that's
you're
the
releasing
turd,
everything, so
that's
you're going to
the
release.
turd pushing on the prostate. What's the prostate is making you?
Okay, is that
want
what
to
that
pee.
is?
If I would,
I just thought it was a pushing and a full relaxation, which is the same reason women shit when they have babies because of the pushing and the full relaxation.
Exactly.
Or is it the baby head on the woman's prostate?
Oh my God.
Which is it?
No, well, women don't have prostates. So.
Is there a sequel to the book Everybody Poops?
Yes.
Is there a second one?
Yes.
Everybody
It's this podcast.
Everybody pees a little bit.
Everybody talks about pooping too much with Tuddle.
All right, so I'm gonna be called a crazy man if I don't come back around to it. Top 4 stories.
Okay.
Now.
Oh, I was thinking about it.
All right. So you know what? Let's make it even a little bit easier. I said the last 10 years, but
Well, 10 years.
let's go the top 4 stories that have been happening. But I mean, you guys haven't been here in Orlando.
Ponce de Leon.
No, just yeah. I mean, I can see that. But no, like I'm talking like the Challenger explosion with the shuttle.
Yeah.
Was a big deal
That was a
here
huge deal.
locally. Now,
Well, and like Ted
was-
Bundy, we talked about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
He was a big one.
the 99 or it might have been 98, 99 wildfires here. Do you know like this area, Volusia
Yeah,
and
this is the
Flagler
corridor.
was completely evacuated.
Yo,
Like, they didn't-
we're podcasting outside. This bee has to go.
Oh,
This
wait,
bee that's
Just
flying around
be
us.
cool.
It's a yellow jacket. Is it really bugging you, buddy?
It's like Jerry Seinfeld. He's telling me corny jokes right now.
No, but I mean, why? Listen, they're not going to mess with you
Yeah,
like
just
a
be cool.
hornet will. Like my dad, when my dad was drinking, those Miller Lite white cans with the screw on tops.
Oh, right.
White boy crackers.
Yeah, white boy crackers. We talked
Fully
about that. But a yellow jacket crawled in the bee. For some reason, they love to get into alcohol.
Sugar. Okay.
So he
'cause they're alcoholics.
he grabbed it and drank, and the bee like got him right on the lip a couple of times when he was drinking there.
I thought you were going to say the tongue. And
No, there he is right there.
no,
It's
nope,
cool. No,
nope.
he's fine.
Dude,
man.
don't
He's-
freak out, man.
I am freaking out. There's nothing I can do.
Your erratic movements are going to freak him out.
Yes, listen.
I'm staying
If you're still, he thinks you're a tree, bro.
Yes, he's
Fuck.
not. He's trying to get in your beer.
Yeah, he wants
there.
your beer. Look, just cap your beer and he'll go away.
I want my beer.
Also, take the cap
Now,
off
how
because
do you
have
know that
thumbs.
the beer? The bee could be in there right
So
now.
shake it up real good and drown him,
No, but
potentially.
what I'm trying to say is when you take a sip of it, that bee could be in there.
I'm done with that. I'm done with that
John
one.
threw the beer in the
I
river.
just fucking toss that. I'm going to open up a new one.
Oh,
Start fresh.
man, my God.
Fresh start.
So we're talking about the news stories, but the wildfires was a big one.
Okay, so I
Yeah, that
they
one.
run together for me because I wasn't living here then. And what'd you say, 98, 99?
98, 99 wildfires.
That was
like 92.
My grandparents lived in Palm Coast then, so we were visiting for summers, and I think my mom got caught up in driving through some of that traffic.
Yeah,
I think, but I wasn't here.
It was-
I was going to say 2 of those stories have to be natural disasters. Like there's a hurricane in there somewhere.
well, I mean,
Andrew.
but hurricane, but that was South Florida though.
Oh yeah, I was in Orlando.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just talking Central Florida stuff. But then you had the Pulse shooting. You
Yeah.
had Casey Anthony, and then even though it was in George Zimmerman was
that was going to be one of mine.
was-
Trayvon George
yeah.
Martin, George Zimmerman.
George Martin.
George Zimmerman story.
So like I'm surprised that Disney hasn't had like a big, like horrible story come out of there. And
They have so much security and shit.
yeah, they did have somebody like die on like working
Well, I
on
mean,
Space
okay.
Mountain.
Nobody
but-
ever dies.
all
on
right.
Disney
So
property.
if we're talking theme park deaths, I mean the story that was huge was Don Brancano, the girl
yeah,
in SeaWorld
SeaWorld.
that got drowned by the killer whale.
Oh
yeah, that was a big
Wow.
one. Yep,
That-
I remember that. I totally forgot that story.
That's
I mean,
one of those
that-
you don't know that you remember,
Right.
and then you hear
But
it.
that was a big story at the time.
Hell yeah! I mean, it spawned Blackfin and it almost shut down SeaWorld altogether. To this day,
Blackfish.
people have. Is it?
Yeah, it's called Blackfish.
Okay. Thank you.
Blackfish,
Anyway, it spawned that movie, which
What
almost
movie?
shut down.
Blackfish or Blackfin?
Blackfin is probably a porn in my history, but Yeah, it almost shut down. It was very bad for SeaWorld, and people to this day have negative outlooks towards SeaWorld specifically for that reason.
I mean, I get what they're saying, but the I cannot stand the fucking PETA people. Like, I love animals and shit, but like, I mean, just like any of these other organizations, they really don't care. They're in it to make money.
Right.
They're trying to do the most shocking things that they can think of.
I see both sides with the SeaWorld argument because I don't
release.
I don't agree with like forcing animals to do stunts and tricks and shit like that. But also, when the animals are well taken care of and well fed and in great habitats, and people are learning about them. They're an educational tool, and it's not so much like you're exploiting them. You're giving them a great home, and then people and children get to come in and learn from that. And hopefully, the takeaway is that hopefully they leave with the idea that these species do need to be conserved in the wild, and you take better care of your environment. That's the hope.
Now, do I think that they should keep breeding new whales? No. But you cannot put the whales that are already there back into the wild because they would not survive.
Once you've been indoctrinated to fish prison, you cannot go back to the sea.
But they also do a lot of great work, though. People don't talk about the manatees that they save or
anytime
or
there's
whatever.
There's an issue at the beach, like with a whale, any type of sea animal, who comes out and saves the fucking day? Then where do they take them? If there's no SeaWorld, then what are they going to take it to their fucking garage down the street? And pour a hose on it?
I mean, but it's propaganda as always. Right. Like, you don't know what you can believe or not believe.
It's extremism, as with everything else. We talked about it on the Lost Tapes that you guys will never hear, with political issues and things like that in the country right now, bigger than ever. But it's the same with PETA. It's an extremist group. They're one side extreme, and there's a moderate middle that people seem to, the majority seems to forget.
I was watching a video earlier this week of Steve Irwin's kid. It was going viral, him, just doing one of his alligator shows.
You're talking about Bob or Bendy?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I
want to see how bendy is. If you know what I mean.
Now,
she's legal. I can say
now
that.
She is legal. All right, so...
Breaky.
She's hot.
She's breaky.
But Bob, I mean, we all knew, like, everybody knew Steve Irwin was going to die by an animal, but who would have thought it would have been a goddamn stingray?
No shit, right?
I would have thought
haven't killed a person before or since.
Like a black mamba. I'm like, he would get taken out by a not Kobe.
Oh, okay. I was like, that was a year ago too.
No, but yeah, that was
like the black mamba. Remember how that guy died by a stingray?
Yeah. But
I always thought it would have been a mongoose.
But yeah, that was so bad. But like I could see Bob Irwin, the son.
He named his son Bob.
Yeah,
fucking lazy.
Bobathan.
Now, what did you think of the wife? Like, she was a little homely, but
I thought she was pretty.
I did too, though. I liked it.
I felt she's kind of like a girl next door type, right? In that she's kind of. She dresses drab and she doesn't like get all, she's an outdoors woman, right? So,
are you going to shoot your shot? Are we working towards
who? Tuddle? Tuddle working towards, because I'm shooting my shot at Bendy.
Messenger.
Let's take Bendy to a yoga class.
Yeah. But like I've kind of been into the weirder chicks lately, though. Like, I mean, are you like into, like that stereotype of that tall, curvy, blonde-headed woman and stuff. But like I've always been attracted to. I mean, I'm not saying they're not attractive, but just weirder, like out of the general like acceptance of
you
what
like emo
men
bitches.
usually like. I wouldn't even say emo though.
I'm kidding.
It's not that it's worse. It's different. It's just different. So you like just a little something a little out of the ordinary. It's kind of like we were talking about. You go against the grain.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
like
something that'll catch your eye. I totally see your point. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to say that's like.
You remember the
what
Suicide
I mainly go
Girls
after.
back in the day?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
They're still a
like,
thing. Do you have Instagram?
I loved that back in the day because that was that off the beaten path. Different.
Is that where you went to jag off? The beaten path?
No,
off to the beaten path, guys. In the Suicide Girls.
In the corner.
But like, I'll give you an example. Like, I've been hanging out with this one chick lately. Okay,
I'm glad you're bringing this up. This is the personal stuff I wanted to talk about. Dating.
Okay,
you rolled right into it. Thank you.
I've been dating this one chick, and she is like. Very attractive in my opinion, but she's a hippie chick. Like she has underarm hair. Would that be a deal breaker for you? Because like
that's a tough question, man.
I don't know. I have no problem. No,
if she's not like smelly and she's otherwise like
No, but people think hair is like is unhygienic, but guys have underarm hair all the time. So like, I mean, if we can keep that.
And I was thinking about it, like when you just said it, I'm like picturing in my head, and I was like, I mean, how often do I spend time in a girl's armpits?
Like the first time you look at it,
Well, I mean, I might see it, but then how much interaction am I getting? Am I going to put my face in it? No. Am I going to? You know what I mean? How much am I going to touch it? Is it going to be a problem to me? Very little. But so like, I don't think it's a deal breaker.
No, I don't think it is. But that is the norm. You see what I'm saying? That are all the
societal norms, right?
So the woman is supposed to be hairless and all that stuff. But that's also a case that I've talked about, is that why do men get to age gracefully and women do not? Like look at TV news, okay? Do you guys ever listen to Magic 107.7 at all? Leslie Gale, that is on. But so Leslie Gale moved. She used to. Okay, so. All right, who in Orlando? I sounded like Cosby. Who?
Yellow pudding pops.
But no, what I'm saying is, like, what is, like, if I said, who is your go-to girl, female news person in Orlando?
I used to love Martha Sugalski for a long time.
Yeah, man, but she went too big on the lips.
Yeah, no, she's cartoonish now, right? Yeah. Who's the chick that comes in every week on the News Junkie? I really like her.
Oh, but see,
from the other station, Amy Caulfield. Yeah, she's cool. I like her. Okay, she seems like a real sweet lady.
But like, she is. Now, I can't say that for sure, and I'm not saying anything bad, but like the people that you don't think are freaks, But Amy Caulfield, though, is
Amy Caulfield be dropping a low,
but she is extremely attractive.
Yeah,
but she's not the youngest woman on TV, though. I mean, how old do you think? She got to be 40s, right?
Yeah, she's early 40s. I say early 40s. Maybe she's older 40s, and she just doesn't show that. But you can't see it because she looks good.
But Leslie Gale was that woman.
Okay.
Like in the 90s. Like she was like the Martha Sugalski.
I say Martha because I got to shout out Dear Martha by Dan Dennis, one of my favorite songs of all time. I played that for John recently, and he was like, "Oh, this shit is fire." And I was like,
do you remember, like, there was a time where there was a weird time where were you around when Jacqueline London she was the mixed biracial woman on Channel 6 at one time?
It sounds familiar, but I'm not a local news guy.
Okay, but
I don't watch a lot of local news.
And I'll get off this, but the guy that is the big swinging dick in Orlando media is now he's younger. And I would like to hear, who do you think I'm going to talk about?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, everybody loves that royal family story where it's passed down generation to generation.
Okay. So it's a generational newsman locally? I didn't know that.
Really?
Is it Jim Cantor or something?
No, guys.
I'm naming guy names from the news. That's
Greg
all I got.
Warmoth is one of... Now his son, Justin Warmoth, is hosting the news desk in the mornings at Channel 6 in his 20s.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's
now,
huge.
his dad was Greg Warmoth. Everybody remembers Greg Warmoth.
Right.
Dude, Greg Warmoth was riding a jet ski with Shaq O'Neal driving it.
Oh, really?
Like
back in the 90s?
No, because when Shaq came in, him and Justin's dad, Greg Warmoth, was... that was the guy that Shaq trusted.
That's cool.
So like he got all the inside
the good exclusives and shit.
And everybody talks about this one time where Greg Warmoth got this exclusive, and I guess Shaq got this new jet ski, and Greg Warmoth was a regular sized guy, but Shaq is humongous.
Right.
Holding on to Shaq, riding butts to nuts.
Talk about big swinging dicks.
Yes, exactly. But everybody remembers that. But Justin Warmoth is already up there at that young age.
That's cool. I had no idea.
Do you ever look at like young people like that and then kind of question yourself?
Oh,
like,
it makes me.
What am I doing with my life?
It makes me feel like a goddamn failure.
All the time. John's only not even 30. Yeah, just wait, buddy.
And I'm already insulted. Yeah.
So. I talk about this because, and I know you guys are big news junkie fans, but I call myself a news junkie because I love, like, all the news, especially local news.
Right.
And Justin didn't get the news desk until he did this story. And this story, like, you get those stories that kind of like make or break you.
Okay.
There were some manatees down because Justin covered Brevard County. Okay.
All right.
So these manatees got stuck in like a runoff ditch or whatever because they were trying to get the fresh water. And everybody was freaking out about these manatees being stuck. And like EMS, everybody's out there. They're all digging ditches, trying to get the manatees back into the big water. And Justin was there the whole time. It was one of those stories that the news just was like, all right, we're going to go right back out to
We're
check
here
with
live
Justin.
on the scene with Justin Warmouth.
Yeah, to save these manatees.
And for some reason, that person's always screaming when they cut to the person. Like, well, let's cut to so-and-so for the live feed.
I like how they're also dressed differently. They have like a hat and a like a polo shirt versus the suit. You know, they're like, I'm here on scene with the manatees.
Yeah,
and they're breached. They're not doing anything.
Yeah,
Nothing's happening.
I don't know why I'm yelling.
But after Justin got done with that story, it was like, I guess, like the program director, back to what I was saying, you never know what piece of segment you're doing,
right?
Because the lost tapes that John just basically, I mean, that could have been our big
That's
break.
what I'm saying. That was our show. That was our ticket to Nickelback.
That could have been our manatee story.
I'm sorry.
And it is funny though. A manatee story is what broke a guy. That's weird. That doesn't seem like edge of your seat.
But you only have that moment to do it right. It's kind of like a photograph. Like if
one shot,
if you get
one
that
opportunity.
Yeah, it's timing.
Would you seize the moment?
It's all
or let
timing.
it all slip.
Yeah.
He could have
Bomb
easily
spaghetti.
He could have easily
at 6
did like a Freudian slip and fucked that whole thing up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
never had that opportunity.
Now.
That's my favorite stuff on local news, by the way. Freudian slips are the greatest things.
I love that too, but I do not have the face for TV, and
I agree.
Okay, so thanks, John.
Wholeheartedly can agree with that.
I fuck up another show for
talk
us.
about the ugly calling the ugly.
I know. See, now I can't even rib anybody.
But you know what? In my late 20s, I rocked the long hair, but God, I looked pathetic the whole time.
I'll say this, Tuddle. Yeah, I asked you to send me a couple pics this week so that I could promote on the social media. I did, and the one you sent me of your long hair, that was a good picture.
Wait, did I send you one?
Yeah, you couldn't really see. It was a weird angle, but you could see that you had longer hair.
Oh, the one when I was looking down. Like, I would try to take artistic
It was like from
pictures.
it was like it was from your penis's perspective.
That like if I was a rapist, that would be the last thing you would see.
Yeah,
like but back to what I'm saying. I'm completely lost.
He was like, you can't throw me. I was like, have me on your show for 5 minutes. Find out.
I'm completely lost.
No, but we were talking about manatees, and I thought that was a perfect segue into dating.
No, so yeah, the dating thing, and I know you want to talk about that, and the chick with the long underarm hair.
Yes.
But so like, it really is not a big thing. I just wanted to find out from you.
Okay.
If that would be.
I had never thought about that before.
But so what is your conundrum?
Okay, well, I just wanted to bring this up because you also mentioned, getting into personal stories and things like that. Yeah. And that's something John and I do on our show, but only to a certain extent. John lets loose a lot more than I do about certain details and shit of his life.
By the way, it hasn't rained here in a week, and John's just throwing like cigarette butts all over the place.
Fine. We
park on fire here.
Yeah, I'm on.
This is the fire corridor. It'll be 98 all over again.
Yeah, 98. We were just talking about that. They're going to be like, oh, why? How did that big evacuation? Oh, it was some guy from a podcast. He was.
And they'll be like, say no more, pieces of shit, podcasters.
And that's the thing.
Glad I got out of there.
Like, who smokes Newports and not go menthol though? Like,
that's what I say, bro. I used to smoke Newports, but the green pack.
Yeah, but I mean,
I was from Atlanta.
But he's smoking Newports and not going even like towards menthol.
No, the full on. Yeah, why don't you just smoke Marlboro Reds like a white boy?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, no, but you see, I dip smokeless tobacco sometimes, and we all used to be like Copenhagen people, but we all switched to Grizzly because that's Grizzly. Like that's the knockoff brand, and it is like a couple dollars cheaper.
All right.
But to your dating,
yes. So I just talking about the personal stories and stuff. I had a specific question, and I felt like you would be the best guy to ask because I know you've been. Well, because you're married, you've been in, even when you weren't married, I'm sure you've probably been on the radio and on different forms of entertainment in relationships.
Like it's an experience thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And I know Tuddle can answer this from a first-hand perspective.
Why haven't you been married yet, though?
I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. So recently, I went through a breakup over the summer, kind of through the pandemic.
How long were you with her?
3 years. Better part of 3 years.
I mean, that's some time in there.
Yeah, we had time invested. And I'm reaching a conundrum now where, like, sometimes when we're telling personal stories, I want to talk about on our show, Funny to Informing, I want to, mention if I had a date or I whatever, something happened with a girl. Like this, there's a great funny story that John may not remember because he got hammered, but we went out after recording a show recently, and I was making some inroads the whole way there. John's like, wingman, bro, I'm gonna wingman you. I got you, bro. I got you. And then we get there and he wingmans me, he does his part, I do my part, and I'm talking to this girl, and then like I'm making my inroads, and right then John's like, he went outside to smoke, and he just started walking up and down the street.
Oh, you had to babysit him because
I didn't have to babysit him. No, he wasn't that fucked up, but he went outside to smoke, and then he just like lost patience, and he was like, yo, bro, I'm ready to go home. And he just like lost all of his patience and was just like in a pissy ass mood. And I was like, cool, man. I'm just getting this girl's number and then I'm out of here. And anyway, I didn't get her number. I fucked up and put in one wrong digit. And I will never talk to the hottest girl I ever gave my number on some random meetup. And I missed that opportunity.
You're calling AAA.
I feel like calling the guy 634 and being like, yo, did Alex call you? What's her number? So the question I wanted to ask is, I just went through this breakup and I want to be able to be forthright in telling some of these stories on our show. However, my ex is one of our biggest supporters, one of our day one Patreon supporters. She still listens to every show. And I don't want to like be disrespectful or whatever, but I will say this.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. I got to answer. Hey, what's up, mama? My mom just called me. All right. Oh yeah, she has. All right, I'm gonna go to break soon. My mom's made you guys a mid show snack.
Oh my god, your mom's amazing. So, thanks, Mama Tuddle.
Okay.
So we'll get to the end of this, and then we can take a break and eat Mama Tuddle food. But so I want to talk about things like this. But how do I broach that? And my thought is, I should cater my stories in my show to the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, so to speak, right? I shouldn't be so worried about this one person listening. No. And I should just be honest,
all right,
and not worry about it?
So okay, now I see where you're coming from, because there's a lot of things I haven't talked about me and my ex-wife, okay?
Right.
Out of respect to her.
Well, you can talk about what's going on with you without shitting on the other person.
That's what I'm saying,
I think that's fine.
And that's my intent. I'm not going to get on and shit on my ex at all, but I know my ex, and while we were going early on in the split up, while we were still talking, I had mentioned something about potentially dating in the future, and she messaged me and was like, oh, I have to listen to your show and listen to you talk about dating other people, blah, 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 passive-aggressive bullshit.
But what, okay, can I ask, why does she care? Does, you
tell me and we'll both know.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, like, does that mean she still has feelings for you?
I don't know.
So why should she care? Like, like, I talked to my ex-wife. I know she is with, it seems like a great guy.
Okay.
And we talk about stuff that they've done all the time.
Right. Well, things are still in like an awkward phase. There was a time where we were still talking to each other, but now, as of late, we do not. We don't speak. We saw each other in public recently. It was mad awkward.
Okay.
We went our own separate ways, and it didn't end on like a terrible down note like that. Things just kind of fell apart after the fact and weren't pretty. And that wasn't the intent of the split up.
Well, what you need to figure out is because there are some sacred things that you're not supposed to talk about, but there should be, like, if you want to talk about any stories from the past or talk about what's going on with your new girl, I mean, why does she really care, though? I mean,
well, you're saying it's her problem, if right? You want to as long as I'm not bashing her or doing something outright disrespectful to her or our relationship that we had, I should be able to talk about it, right? And I know I should, but it's just like, how do I broach it? And so I guess the answer I'm looking for is I just do it and don't fucking care, right? That's what I have to do. Rip the Band-Aid and just say what I want to say.
Well, and it depends, because, sometimes people split up with their exes and they're done with them and then that's it. And they go their separate ways. Right. And then some people try to maintain a friendship. So
I would like to, because John, you know her very personally, and you know that
you have intentions of being back with her again.
No, not being together, but I would. But
why do you care?
Because I don't want to shut the door on a friendship, because we all have the same circle of friends. Literally, like we would. I don't hang out with my circle of friends anymore because I kind of left her to them.
That's her problem.
I agree.
No, it is.
I just kind of wanted. I think I was just looking for that validation.
I think it is. I think you need to just like. You got
like John, me telling that story about when we went out to the bar on the show, right? That's a funny thing that happened, right? We went to the bar, I met that girl, blah, blah, blah. But can you imagine, like, I probably wouldn't get a message because she doesn't message me anymore. But you know what I mean? The passive aggressive shit that I could stand to suffer.
Does she
and I also don't want her to not listen to our show. But I don't. But again, I don't want to pull punches and not tell stories to everybody else listening to the show either.
Does she hold any power over you?
No.
Like
other than
you said you have a kid, right?
No, not with her.
No, but that's why I was asking. Like, what I'm saying is, like, does she have like anything she can hold over?
No. She has her shit. I have my shit. No.
So then why do you care?
Again, because I don't want to alienate a listener, but at the same time, I don't want to.
That's going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
I
know it's going to, but that's why
we've upset people.
I'm a very crass person.
We've
when I
had
get on a
rap
microphone.
songs made about our show talking shit about us.
Yeah.
Like it happens. And then you just got to accept it.
I've never had that before. I would love that.
Well, I'll tell you how to make it happen.
That's an interesting story. Yeah.
That's a real good story.
That's
All
a
right,
fun one.
So guys, tell people how people can listen to your show, and then
maybe they'll hear some dating stories from me now.
and we're gonna record some stuff, and you'll be able to hear me being on their content.
Episode 166 this week.
Even though I've done 305 and I've only been doing it since March, you guys have been doing it for 4 years. Even though that people
gotta go to work, man.
I mean, I only bring that up because that was on the first show that we did, the Lost Tape. So
because you Tuddle blow my mind with doing a show every single day with literally just the passion that's driving you. You know, you're not getting a hefty check in the mail every single week.
Yeah,
for
I could
doing
never. I think about doing a show by myself, even like recording a little bit to send to John and be like, "Hey, tag this on the show, or put this on our feed this week, or whatever." And I'm like, I don't know where to start or begin. What word do I even say to start? You see me when I try to intro my own bits on the show, where do I start? I'm lost.
Can I ask you why are you not recording throughout the day, even if it's like 3 or 4 minate segments?
Because
like,
I don't know.
Like you guys, during the Lost Tapes, you guys brought up the Twisted Tea thing.
Right.
Like just having your camera on you all the time. That's the reason why I always have my phone on me, because I don't want to miss something if it like breaks loose.
Well, because I was talking about doing a podcast or like getting the news story right. You have that one opportunity to take that correct photograph. It's the same thing. You have that one chance.
Yeah. All right, guys. So where can they check you guys out?
Funny to Informing on all platforms. So Facebook or Instagram.com/Funny to Informing, all one word. The 2 is T-O. And
we have a weekly segment on there from Tuddle.
Yeah.
Call it Tuddle's 10. We give him 10 minutes. He rants on it, and we give commentary back and forth.
You're gonna want to check it out, because I'm gonna do a Tuddle's 10.
It's the first ever live Tuddle's 10.
Yeah,
We've
live
done a phoner Tuddle's 10.
Yeah.
He usually records them and sends them in, but we did a phoner before, and now we're like, fuck it, we're here. We don't want to know what the topic is. We just want to respond in real time.
And I'm telling you right now, like I didn't even prep for this. Like I'm just gonna do it. So
we're all shooting from the hip today.
Yeah. So all right. Guys, I really appreciate everything. I want to thank everybody that listened to today's show. Check out my website, Tuddle.net. If you'd like to reach me, you can email me, Tuddle@gmail.com, or you can leave me a voicemail, 407-270-3044. Hope you guys have a great day. Be safe. I will talk to you tomorrow.